Oh, here we go. Here we go. Here we go.
Here we go.
Here we go.
Here we go.
Here we go. Here we go.
Oh, here we
Here we
go.
go.
Oh, here we go.
Welcome back to the motherfucking podcast, guys.
Hi.
I'm Lacey.
I'm Stephanie.
And this is
Oh,
Here We Go.
I was like, that was like
We're bringing on a burlesque dancer today.
yes, and a businesswoman.
Yeah. And she looked like the Little Mermaid, looks like a literal doll.
I just stared at her. It's just like, I was like
She's so
looking
dreamy.
at her and I was just like, first of all, her name is Rosa Lee Bloom. And usually, you know, like that meme where it's like, you know, when you're FaceTiming someone, you're just looking at yourself. That's totally me. And that's how I am with our interviews. I'm usually just like looking at myself or them and like, or staring at you, I guess. But with her, I was just like, zoned in on her. I was like, damn, like women are so beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Like, God, and then she was just like,
She was
like
full glam.
voluptuous.
Yeah,
Like,
she had
just-
like her costume and
No.
feathers.
yeah, God. It was just
Mm-hmm.
like, she just looked so soft and pretty. And I was like,
Mm-hmm.
that feminine energy is just such a special thing.
Yeah. I mean, aside from just the burlesque, which that's something that I've like always wanted, like for years, I've wanted to do that before I die.
Same.
And I'm quite,
I think
I
that
might.
for Halloween.
Okay. God, the pantyhose, those little heels, like, yeah, I would love that.
Damn.
Like,
I would feel comfortable. They're like, I feel like it's just designed for like,
yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
be
Yes,
hot.
we have to remember that.
Okay.
But yeah, I might quite actually sign up for classes when I get back to LA. But we also got to hear a little bit about her story with polyamory. And that's something that one of our first episodes was open relationships and polyamory, and a world that Stephanie and I aren't super familiar with. So it's always like, I always love hearing stories about it, because like we only know one kind of way to love and like one way to feel safe in love. And I'm just so fascinated to hear like other people's ways of like love and like making it work, because like I'm terrified. Like I'm so scared of like feeling jealousy and like feeling rejected and abandoned. Like those are all my biggest fears. And like to hear people living confidently that way, I'm like,
I know.
I don't know if I could ever do that.
Well, yeah, we didn't even bring her on to talk about that, and she just said that in the interview, and I was like, skirt, hold on, what?
Yeah.
Like, I still have so many questions about that, but I get nervous because I'm like, I want to ask in-depth questions, detail, like, I want to know so much because I'm genuinely so curious, and I just kind of, like, want to educate myself, but I get nervous because I'm like, I don't want to ask the wrong thing. I don't want anyone to feel uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know. I'm just a dumbass in that space. And I get so curious because I'm just like, I don't think I would never do that. But like, I applaud and have respect for the people that do, because like, wow, I mean, damn.
Yeah, I know. It's always, I'm like, oh, wow. I would love to be a fly on the wall. Like actually. But
I think I'd be like, like the whole time, just like, you know how whenever you watch like
those reality
shows,
shows.
like where like a love scene in a movie and you're just like, like that's how I get.
Yeah, I mean, but we talked about OnlyFans too. This is very much talking about like sexuality.
Yeah.
And Stephanie and I have been talking about this week, like just about sexuality in different ways. And I have realized that I'm a little bit more dominant in some ways.
Which is so surprising to me.
Yeah, it is. like, I guess it really crept up on me because I didn't notice it until like now. And I'm like, oh, like I initiate sex a lot. Like I am the initiator. And that kind of really bothered me this week. And I'm like,
yep.
why?
I don't know. I have more the opposite. Like, it's so funny because it's like in day to day, I'm like a dominant person.
Yeah.
Like I get shit done and I'll tell everybody else what to do, but like not
You know,
but I'm like, can I just like not in the bedroom? Like, can you like? I mean, I'll do whatever. Like, I think we've discovered we're power bottoms, but like, but yeah, no, like the initiation thing. I'm just like, I'm always down.
yeah.
Always.
Well, so in my last relationship where there was a terrible like sex was just so bad. I felt like he was always just doing it to me, and he was always initiating it and always wanted it, to the point where I was just like, get off of me.
Yeah.
And so in this new dynamic, I've actually really liked being the more dominant one. Like I've liked playing in that because it's also made me feel really safe. But like I took a step back and I was like, actually, I really want to be fucked. Like, like listen, I'll suck a dick. Like, I like it, but I took
a camera guy right now.
I took a step back and I was just like, why am I not getting fucked?
We didn't know what we were gonna talk about in the intro, so for it to go this route is hilarious. Yeah. Why am I not getting fucked?
Like I do like being I like being the dominant person, but it's just sometimes fuck me.
Oh my god. We need to put that on merch. That's pretty long. We'll figure it out.
We can put that on phone case.
I feel like I could have been and can be a more dominant person. I definitely have that quality. But I am so afraid of rejection, and I think it comes from having really terrible boyfriends growing up. Like, oh my god, I remember I dated this like shell of a person. Just like I paid for everything, put him in school. He didn't go. Help him pay for his car. I bought him a cell phone. Made him get a job. It was so bad that he was like sleeping in my room one time, and my dad came in there and he was just like, "Get up, like get up." And we moved in together, and I had to give him like $20 for weed, like every day. Like it was like an allowance, and it was just like he was so fucking lazy. And me coming like from a space of like growing up, and my love, or like my way of knowing that I was being loved and all that was from praise and like from being involved heavily with sports and everything. I was just kind of afraid of rejection, and he was so fucking lazy that like one time I like wanted to do it, and he was like, okay, fine, we can, but only if you're on top. And I was like, that's when I was like, we're done. Like, I don't ever want to experience what that felt like ever again.
Yeah.
And so then I just like, I don't think I ever had partners that like made me want to. I just think I haven't ever been with the right person until now. So
yeah, there needs to be a good flow of give and take, like receive.
Yeah, now I want to. Now I'm like trying to like really work through all of that I've like experienced through 10 years of whatever, and I'm like trying to be like, but I haven't really ever been that way with anybody else.
Yeah,
like,
well, that's crazy. Like, it feels so normal for me to like be the one to initiate now.
Does not feel normal for me. Like, I'm getting there.
Wow, I don't know. Wow. I'm like, what is it like?
I think I just like, when it comes to, I am, like I said, like a more dominant person on my day to day, that when it comes to like that, I'm just like I don't want to be so like, I'm like, God, I gotta do this too. Like, like it's just like, I don't know. Like, and luckily the dynamic is great I have no complaints now, but like, yeah, for a minute there, I just wasn't initiating with like any partner. They were just doing it. And now I'm like, okay.
Yeah, I mean, would you ever get like offended if they wouldn't initiate it and you're just like waiting for it?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm like, oh, do you not want to have sex with me? And that was a thing. Like, yeah, like you would be like, you need to initiate. And I knew he was doing it on purpose. Like we hadn't.
He's like giving you like a little test.
Yeah, like a day or so gone by, and I'm like, oh, why are we not having sex? And he's like, because you need to initiate it too. And I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, okay.
I mean, I mentioned this week that it's nice to feel desired.
Mm-hmm.
And that goes for both partners, like the initiator, the receiver, like, even though there might be one partner that's more dominant, like say in your scenario, I'm sure he like wants to be desired, like to feel desired.
It's weird because like I will touch him all over and I want to initiate it, but I get so nervous because I'm like, what if he says no? And I'm like, I feel like a dumbass.
Yeah, wow.
I am so like that makes me so hot. Like I can't, like not in a good way. Like not into that. Like that. I'm like, oh, and I like worked up all the courage to like get it, like, cause I mean, you get nervous, like, you know, you want to be. I want my partner to always make me a little nervous, you know, because I've never had that either. And so like I'm so afraid that, but we've had the conversation where he's just like, I always want to too. So I'm like, okay, I just have to like really trust that process, and it's worked out great.
Yeah,
So.
wow. I mean, the no thing is definitely probably a little bit of trauma.
Yeah, I'm like, no.
Yeah.
Does that mean like there's no praise with that? There's no you're doing great. There's no like that's meaning like, oh, you don't like me anymore? Are we breaking up? Are we done? Like it goes to the most extreme.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a lot.
So true. Like
so
my head
props
will
for
go
you.
to the most extreme.
Well, have you ever been turned down?
Let me think about it. Oh, yes. Oh my God.
And you remember it too, huh?
Yes. And it was with, you'll figure it out, one of my ex-boyfriends. And it was when I was really depressed and he never wanted to have sex with me. And like, I remember this one time he was like, fine. And he was like, fine, take off your shirt.
Oh my God, I cannot have this conversation. Oh my God.
It was the weirdest.
I'm like scratching myself right now.
It was the weirdest sexual experience because I knew that he didn't even want to have sex with me. And then he ended up breaking up with me. But, you know, we've reconnected years later and he actually ended up telling me that, like, that's his own shit, that sex just gives him so much anxiety in general and he feels bad about it. And so.
Is it because of how I think he might be gay?
Well, I don't know, but that was a situation where I was just like, whoa, I actually have been rejected a couple of times, like, with him specifically, and I would always try and like touch him, and he would always be like, stop, like, not in like a,
I can't.
Yeah, and then there was like a guy that I like was trying to hook up with, and he'd be like, stop, and I would be like, what?
See, I would rather just not even try. Like, that gives me so much anxiety. Wow.
Yeah.
And it's fine. Like, you're allowed to reject a woman if you don't want to have sex, but like, oh my God, that gives me so much anxiety.
No, yeah, like, it sucks when it comes from your partner.
Yeah. Well, yeah, definitely. Strangers are definitely allowed to, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, it sucks when you come from someone that's been so into it this whole time, and then all of a sudden you're like,
and look, like,
what to?
Look, I get it. If you're busy or if you're upset, if you're not,
like,
I
if
get
you're not
that.
Yeah, if you're off,
Because-
if the things are off, like,
Because
okay.
I've rejected my ex-boyfriend, like, but the way he handled the rejection was not right. Like, I remember I took his hand out of my pants and he started yelling at me.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So.
Oh yeah, the way you handle. I mean, that's never. It's just been like a no or like a, like, or not always. I mean, this is like, I don't know if this is really. This fear isn't valid because like, I can't even remember a time where that's happened to me. I'm just afraid of it happening. Like, you know, like that one time with that guy, like 10 years ago, I just have always been like, damn, trauma really sucks.
Yeah.
And it really, you don't think it's trauma until you're analyzing it.
Yeah, you find where the string is.
Yeah. What a bitch.
I know, but I'm like realizing like how much I've been rejected. And I'm like, okay, one, I've handled that like a champ.
Yeah,
but
it's
two,
not affecting you. Good for you.
But two, I'm like, are you fucking serious? Like,
Yeah.
No, I don't feel like a lot of people wouldn't assume that I've been rejected as many times as I have. Like, truly.
Oh my God. Yeah. And maybe I have been. Oh, wait. There's another one. I remember now. Motherfucker. Yeah. But yeah. Okay. I'm remembering. I don't like this conversation anymore.
We're both hot.
Yeah. I'm uncomfortable.
sweating.
Yeah. Okay. Without further ado, someone else that'll make you hot. We're going to get back into the episode with Rosa Lee Bloom. And yeah.
Let's hop right into it. And on that note,
And without further ado, I thought you were going to do it.
sorry, you said without further ado.
Oh, I did? Oh, my bad. Okay. Just let's
Without
go.
further ado, oh, here we go. Welcome back, guys.
Hi.
How we doing?
Y'all, we have on a dream guest, and you go by Rosalee?
Yeah. Yes.
And you are a burlesque dancer, but you probably go by a lot of other realms of the world. So introduce yourself. Tell our listeners about you.
Well, yes, I'm Rosalee Bloom. I have been doing burlesque since 2011. Yeah, and I do lots of other things too. That's not my full-time gig. It's very hard to do burlesque full-time, which we can get into later. But I'm also a photographer, and I do online sex work. I have a rental property. I do a lot of things, but burlesque is a very close piece of my heart that is it's very important to me.
Wow.
So I'm really glad that y'all asked me to talk about it.
Of course.
Yeah, oh my gosh. Well, we've been wanting a burlesque dancer on, and been looking around, and I didn't really think that we'd find one from Arkansas. So the fact that you live there is mind-blowing to me.
It's
Yeah, so
random.
are you in Hot Springs?
Yeah. So I'm
So
born
is
and
that-
raised in Hot Springs.
Okay. Is that is there a big community for that there?
There wasn't a decade ago, but now there is now. It's not like the type of place that you could do burlesque full time by any means, but there's a show going on usually once a week.
Okay.
I'm not in every one of them because the community is quite large here and it's a small town, so it's a lot of spots to fill for performers. But I perform here once a month usually, maybe less than that even.
Okay.
Before the pandemic, pre-COVID, we were doing a lot more shows.
Okay. I feel like out of anywhere in Arkansas, Hot Springs and Eureka Springs would be where I would imagine to find shows like that, right?
Yeah, for sure. I love Eureka. We actually got asked to do a show in Eureka, and we're waiting to hear back, which I'm crossing my fingers. I'm please. It's one of my favorite little towns to go visit.
So are you with a group? You say we. Did you
Yes.
have to establish a
Yes.
group?
Well, the group was established in 2011, and I came in after it was already established, basically. It's called the Foul Play Cabaret, and it's five members, and we perform as a troupe, and we'll travel sometimes to do shows as a troupe, but the majority of us travel and do individual shows. But yeah, we do the shows that we mainly do are Foul Play Cabaret shows where we all come together and perform.
What made you get into burlesque dancing?
I was a wee little baby, and I was 19, and it just looked really fun. I went to a show of the Foul Play Cabaret. I went and I was like, this looks really fun. And I went home that night and I was like, if I were to do this, what would my name be? Because you got to come up with your stage name and just playing, and I was like, And every year, the show doesn't happen anymore, but the Spa City Sweethearts was a big, it was they did it for 10 years, and it invites new performers to come on stage and debut and just, have fun. And I was like, why not? I'll do it. This sounds fun just to do it once. And I did it, and it was so terrifying, and I I looked down the whole time. Like I barely looked up at the audience. Like I was so shy. And then I just started they invited me back to do one of their like foul play cabaret shows, and then the rest is history, really. They asked me to join the troupe, and then I've been there ever since. And they're like my closest friends. So.
Whoa.
Well, go ahead.
Oh, like, have you always been a dancer before burlesque?
I did like the standard ballet and tap and like stuff whenever I was younger, but like I wouldn't consider myself like a dancer by any means.
Okay.
I always had that like creative, like my mom and my dad are both artists. Like I always had that sort of like theater, like fun, artisticness in myself, and the thing I really love about burlesque is getting to be like a completely different persona, like this isn't me. Like you go on stage and you're a completely different person.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So it's really fun to just get to.
I've always wanted to
explore-
do that once.
Yeah, you should. I highly recommend it. Like it's a very big boost of confidence. Like you might get up there and be like, I'm gonna do it once, and then you're like, it's like this, like it washes over you. Like the audience is clapping for you, and you're just like,
Yeah.
oh, like it's invigorating for sure.
I've always said that if I was going to be a type of dancer in that world, that it would be burlesque, because I feel with burlesque, it's a home for curvy women. And I know women of all sizes can do it, but like I primarily see curvy women just killing it. And I'm like, yeah.
I love the outfits.
Burlesque
There's
is
an
home of, like,
attitude.
so many types of humans. Like burlesque, like it just embodies like everybody, which is so beautiful, and I love to see it. I'm a big fan.
Yeah. I'm going to do it before
Big
I die.
fan of watching babes.
I think.
We should,
Yeah,
we
bucket
should
list.
go, like, I remember I was in Paris and I passed one. I wanted to go in so bad, and that would just be.
Oh my god, a burlesque show in Paris? What are you doing?
I don't
You
know
should
what I
have
was
done it.
doing.
You should have done it.
Oh, I've got to. Me and my boyfriend are planning to travel in October, and I'm like, I really think we should go do it. Oh my god,
That would be so cool.
Where
You could
is
come.
like a place?
You could come to Arkansas and come to our Halloween show.
Oh, that would
Wow.
be amazing. Where is that at? Like where in Arkansas? Hot Springs?
It's in Hot Springs. Yeah, it's at the Central Theater. Yeah, it's gonna be very good. I'm doing like a vampire number, and we also have a group act where one of our dancers is a pole performer, and she has like a standalone pole, and we have this big cauldron that we got made for us out of like paper mache, and it's huge, and it goes around her, and then we come out in like these witch outfits and we summon her out of the cauldron, and then she like is doing her pole dancing, and we're like worshiping her. It's incredible. It's one of my favorite acts to
That's so
perform.
fun.
Yeah, what a cool, like, creative idea.
I
You
feel like
know?
I've never really wanted to be in Arkansas on Halloween until now.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, I mean,
Where are like places in the world where you could be a burlesque dancer full time?
okay. A lot of my friends in New Orleans do performance full time, but a lot of them also are strippers on the side, or I mean, as like do stripping or OnlyFans, or like have some sort of other thing, because it is so hard to do burlesque full time. Yeah, like a lot of people have a lot of different avenues, but in New Orleans you can do burlesque more full time than other cities because it's constant tourism. There's like multiple shows per night.
Oh, okay.
New York has a lot of burlesque and stuff too. So I know a few people that do full time gigging out there too.
Wow.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering. Like New York and New Orleans were like,
Yeah,
hubs,
I'm
I
sure there are
guess.
other places too, but those are like hubs, Or you can,
Would you
I mean,
wanna
you can
be
do
full-time?
burlesque. Like I have a friend, Raquel Reed. She works in Vegas at Absinthe, but
Oh,
that's like
Vegas.
her. Yeah, it's like her only gig, which is amazing. She's incredible.
Would you want to be a burlesque dancer full time?
Personally, no. I don't think I think it would be like too much hustle. because burlesque, we don't get paid a lot of money. I don't know what y'all are thinking, or like the majority of like the people, like we don't get paid a lot of money at all. So it's definitely, if you have the means to do a bunch of traveling and performing full time, like it's doable. Like if I wanted to pursue burlesque full time living in Arkansas, I would have to be traveling constantly. Which
yeah.
would be exhausting. I like my home base. I like being able to come and like be home. Because I own 3 Victorian homes that were built in the 1880s, and they're
Wow.
a lot of work. So I'm constantly, working on that. And like I said, I also do photography full time and have a bunch of animals and a sweet partner. And it's partners. We're polyamorous, so I've got a lot on my plate, and I wouldn't want to do as much. Yeah.
Well, I'm assuming you're from Arkansas, and being
Yes.
from Arkansas, I'm assuming maybe there's conservativeness around in the family, perhaps. Are they supportive of your lifestyle?
My family is actually really supportive. I'm so grateful. But yeah, they're all about it. They're comfortable with the polyamory. They're like, yeah, bring your girlfriend over. Like, and my wife and I have been married for 10 years.
Wow.
And so it's great. They're so supportive. They're supportive of burlesque. It's great. I'm very thankful for that. I know a lot of people that have a lot of sadness regarding family, and even burlesque. I mean, people just have such like a different, I don't know, it's hard to understand for some people, especially in the South,
So to talk about polyamory, because I had no idea, and I don't know if you even talk about that online or whatever. So you have a partner and a wife?
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Okay. So we don't really.
Were you always polyamorous before marriage, or was this something that you guys considered after marriage?
Yes, this is something that we started talking about probably 7 years into maybe 6.5 years into our marriage. And we had started, like throwing it around, like not even polyamory, but like openness, like, like tipping the toes in the water. Like we could be open. We could like, have a threesome, or we could, but not at all thinking that we were going to end up like having other relationships and falling in love with other people. But that's what it has turned into now. And it's beautiful, and everything. We all love each other. It's great and magical.
Were there any like growing pains? Like, how was that figuring that out? Like jealousy?
Oh, 1,000%.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, jealousy is like a feeling that is so natural in us, like there's definitely been, just figuring it out and figuring out what boundaries need to be set, and like who's comfortable with what, and like it's just the communication, is so important with any relationship, but specifically if you're going into polyamory, or like opening your marriage or whatnot, or just relationship in general.
So were you just kind of the type that always imagined you could never be like non-monogamous? Because I feel like that's like with how we're raised too, like.
I mean, yeah, you're right. Like we're raised to be like monogamy is the only way, I never considered it. Like I don't know. Nick and I got married really young. Like I was freshly 19, or like maybe even 18. And I think it was just realizing, like, as we're growing together and like learning more about ourselves, to be like, we got married so young, and I just turned 30 on the 1st of August. So we're still so young, and she's just like a couple years older than me. And it makes more sense, like, to be able to explore and share more love, like I love her so much, and she's amazing, and I want others to experience that too,
Wow. Yeah.
Whoa.
But more.
You are a
I
very
never really
selfless
considered
person.
that. Like I never thought that we would be or anything like that. I just kind of came about. And I couldn't say if I would be, monogamous again or not. I mean, I'm really enjoying my lifestyle at this moment. And I don't know. I really do love it though. I love being adored. I'm a Leo.
Aw.
And like,
Yeah, don't we
adore me,
all?
please.
Yeah, that's really special. I was hearing about one of my like older friends was dating this woman, and she is actually married with kids, and she has, her husband, but also she has a boyfriend and the guy that she's dating. So she had like multiple partners, and the guy who was telling me this was like explaining me her like mentality of it all, and like how much she really loves her life. Like the romantic side just wasn't in her marriage, but she loved the system that they had, like the kids, like it just worked so well. And the system that she has now with like dating and her boyfriend like works really well for her. And I just think it's kind of cool to see people like navigating relationships like this, because it's not like a storybook that we've been like taught. You really have to navigate this yourself for the most part. I mean, there's communities and therapy and stuff like that, but when it comes to like staying in something because your system works and you do love that person and you do have kids, like I think it's kind of special if you can make something like that work.
Totally. I agree with you.
How does it work with like, sorry if I'm asking, I'm just so intrigued right now. So like if you're
No, I love it. I love that we're switching. We're just switching this up, and now we're just doing relationship. I'm into it.
I mean, yeah, we had no idea. Trust me. So okay, is your partner male or
No,
woman,
she's
or-
she is non-binary, but she uses
non-binary.
she/they pronouns.
Okay, so how do you like split your time with them, or is everybody just spending time together?
Well, Nick and I live together, and my other partner, Ruby, she's also in my burlesque troupe. Um, we see each other a few times a week. We'll have like an overnight a week, and have dates here and there throughout the week. But I stay most nights at my house with Nick.
Okay, because I was gonna ask, like, do you, just naturally have to prioritize one or the other? Is it just like a system, or like what to keep people happy?
I mean, you want it to be organic.
Yeah.
You want it to be organic. You don't want it to be like, oh, I just spent time with you, so I need to make sure I spend time with you, and like it. I think we have a good flow going on.
Wow.
It's not in any sort of like, I have to be here. Like there aren't like a lot of like rules in that way. Like it's kind of just easygoing and like whatever feels good. But yeah, I do spend at least one overnight a week with Ruby, and then we'll go on like trips together. Since she does burlesque as well, we'll travel and do shows and have little getaways together. This weekend actually,
open?
Ruby and Nick, we're all going to New Orleans together for the first time. I have some shows, and we're going to all go on a little trip together, so it'll be very fun, I think.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
What were you asking
Ruby
me?
also
I think
open?
you said, is Ruby open? So, she and I have been dating 6 months. We haven't really like, she's not dating any other people right now, but like that's not off the table for me. Like if she was like, hey, I'm interested in like I would be all about it. I think our relationship is still really new and exciting. Like that's the reason I'm not like having other partners right now either. It's just, it's that NRE, that new relationship energy. So I don't know if she would consider herself poly or not, since she hasn't really explored that. But I mean, I guess she is if her partner is me and I have other partners.
Yeah.
So I don't know. That's interesting to think about. But no, she doesn't have any partners outside of me right now, as we see
Aw.
And your wife is open too?
it. Yes.
Or like, does she have other
my-
partners as well? Is what I mean.
She doesn't have another partner right now, but she has had multiple other partners in the past.
This is so fascinating to
Yeah,
my
It's
little
the
small
polycule.
town mind.
We call it the polycule, and yeah, it changes all the time.
Wow.
Not all the time, but it's an ever evolving situation.
I love learning about it.
Is this more common in the space that you're in too, just because sexuality is like more like celebrated and fluid and like not suppressed?
I don't really know if you would like I would have to like sit down and like really think on it. Like I don't know a ton of people who are polyamorous in the burlesque community. Maybe like locally, I mean, there's like one couple that in Hot Springs that we're friends with that are poly, but I mean, I don't know. I feel like in burlesque, the sexuality, like there are a lot of lesbians in burlesque. There are a lot of like just gay people in general in burlesque. So I mean, probably, you know, there's probably more polyamory in burlesque than you would see like in like just the random like whatever like world outside of it or whatever.
With starting burlesque so young, what do you think it has done for your personality?
So much. It is wild. Actually, I like even like telling you from my first performance, like I couldn't even look up at the audience. It was like just I did my act so fast. I was just ready to get off stage. Like it was like scary, I think I've really evolved and gotten it. Burlesque is so vulnerable, it's really, it puts you out there, it's like, I don't know, you really like find yourself being vulnerable and getting naked for people on stage, and just it's incredible for sure. I mean, part of the reason I chose Rosalee Bloom as my name is because I felt like I was like blooming as like a flower, you know what I mean? Like it was like really opening me up and like letting my creativity blossom. And yeah, I credit burlesque to a lot of the ways that I am today for sure.
Yeah, you have to. I feel like you gotta grow up fast if you're naked on stage. You gotta put the pedal to the metal and like get there. Like that's like it takes a lot to do that. I could not.
Are there's like tiers though? Like there's like not full
right?
nude.
Oh. Well,
Yeah,
but I mean,
yeah.
like being on stage.
I mean, no, not full. Burlesque isn't full nude. I mean, technically, you have your pasties and your G-string,
Yeah.
But I mean, that's pretty naked if you ask me.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I want the feathers. I like am envisioning like the Christina Aguilera burlesque movie.
Oh man. Oh, look at it. Also, God, you look like Ariel, and that looks like her shell, like her clamshell right now.
Wow.
Yeah.
I can't stop staring at her. Like, you have to be like the prettiest person I've ever seen. Oh my God. Have you ever like dealt with very uncomfortable moments with other people while performing? Like, do you guys do like one-on-one situations where you dance for somebody?
No. There's usually a disclaimer, or not a disclaimer, I don't know what I'm thinking, like whenever the MC goes over the rules of the show, and they'll be like, no touching the performers, kind of go through that type of thing. You will get, I mean, I've gotten groped on multiple occasions, like because a lot of times you're not just on a stage. A lot of times you're doing a floor show where you're walking around and people are, you're like, I get my fan and like mess with people and like flirt with them and stuff. And there have been times that I gotten touched and stuff. Not like to a point where it was like it really messing with me, just like annoyance, like just like smack their little hand away and be like, no, don't touch me. But
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't do any private things like that, like you would do like if you're working at a club or something like that.
Oh wow, well, that's good. Damn.
Have you ever considered to do stripping?
I mean, I do a lot of I kind of have my OnlyFans as a platform for me to like get a little deeper, separate from burlesque, you know. So I don't feel a need to really like. I think it's great. I go to the club often. It's one of my favorite things to do is go to the strip club. But I've never really thought that it's my favorite thing. Like, oh my God, I'm going to be going in New Orleans this weekend. You best bet. And we have a club here that is so funny, you guys. Oh my God, if you ever come to Arkansas, we're going. It's called French Quarter.
Okay.
Silly, but
We're from there.
yeah, one of my friends.
I'll be in Arkansas literally tomorrow, so maybe
What?
I can. Oh,
I'm
yeah,
leaving tomorrow.
I'm literally.
But you should go. You should go to French Quarter. It's incredible. It's still a smoking bar. It's like BYOB. It's wild in there. Like,
Whoa.
it's wild. I'm telling you. Like,
I
if
don't
you
wanna-
want to just have a really wild story to tell, please go. It's wild.
What
Okay.
city is that in?
It's in Hot Springs.
Okay.
Yeah.
Here.
My dad lives there. I've been wanting to take my boyfriend to Hot Springs so bad, but we just hasn't linked up. But yeah, I mean, I'm in Arkansas often, so but I've always looked at Hot
Whenever
Springs
you're
as like,
here again, come. I want to hang out.
Oh,
yes,
you can stay on the Airbnb.
okay. Well, if I'm just staring at you the whole time, sorry. But
No,
I've been.
like, please come. I have an Airbnb. You could stay there for sure.
Yay! Okay, perfect. Oh my gosh.
She's a businesswoman.
Yeah. When I
Damn,
think of
like,
Hot
let's go.
Springs, I think of like old money a lot. Like Hot Springs is very like
It's
old
a lot
money
of
to me.
gambling, like a lot of like, yeah, the whole like, yeah, gangster stuff and the, yeah,
Yeah,
the
there's a
gambling,
whole-
the casino, and, yeah,
We,
Al Capone, you know, all
Mhm.
the things.
Have you ever considered moving from Hot Springs?
There was a point where Nick and I, when we first got married, we were like, let's get out of here, like, because you know we're just like didn't feel like we could fully be ourselves here, you know, and we really wanted to go to California, go to like the Bay Area and blah blah blah. And then we were like, why move? Like, why, if everyone moves that's like cool and gay and hip and all the things, like why, like where are the cool gay people going to be in Hot Springs? Like there won't be any if everyone moves away. So we were like, let's stay here and like really let's buy property and just like make this town better, you know. So yeah, that's kind of why we stayed, and I'm really glad that we stayed. It's we've got a really nice little situation going on for ourselves here. So
I felt bad leaving. I moved last January, and I felt bad because I was like, Arkansas needs creative, progressive people, but I just was like, I cannot date here. I can't. So
no, I don't. Like, I mean, it's, yeah. Yeah, I don't believe
It's really
it's
hard.
okay. I'm not judging you.
No.
I'm glad
I mean,
you're
I'm
so
still
frequent
back, like,
Arkansas,
I'm
Yeah.
back like every other weekend. Like I'll be back for Thursday through half the month, pretty much, like at least a full
Great.
week. And so I still do wedding photography
Arkansas
out there, like all the time. Yay!
cool.
Yeah.
Will you take pictures with me?
Yes,
pictures.
yeah, please. Oh my God. Wow, this is a dream.
Yeah, wow.
Oh my gosh, I just got flustered.
Yeah.
So as far as like your OnlyFans goes, what
What was that like?
yeah, what's it been like getting into that?
I started my OnlyFans March of 2020, right as the pandemic hit. I was like so many other people did, you know, like let's do this, make
Me.
some money from home type of thing. My ex-girlfriend at the time was working at the strip club, and you know they closed down, and so she opened her OnlyFans, and I was like, cool, like I'm gonna follow her, you know, I'm gonna do this too, and that's kind of like why I got into it. And then when the money started rolling in, I was like, okay, I'm gonna keep doing this. Yeah, and I enjoy it. Like I enjoy it a lot. It's not easy by any means. I put a lot of work, and it's a lot of time, like answering messages, and it's like it takes over. But I enjoy it for sure.
What kind of like content do you post on there? Do you do the burlesque kind of stuff or like different kind of stuff?
They're all over. I have me fresh out the bed in the morning, no makeup, no wigs, nothing. to full glam stuff. I have like snippets from performances on there. I do sexting with people on there. I do customs. I make videos with other performers around. Like I'll travel, I have a lot of close friends in LA that do porn and do OnlyFans, and so we'll collab together and just like the whole board. I do all the fun stuff.
Wow. How has that like changed your life in a way? Like, with that extra stream of income?
It's been incredible. I'm very thankful for it. I really am. Nick had like a full-time like 9 to 5 that she worked that she really like did not enjoy. It was draining her and she was just like exhausted, and like she was able to quit her job and be like full-time. She does like property management for us, and she does my brain is very, if it's something revolving like taxes or folders, like it is like boring, not gonna do it.
Yeah.
So Nick does all of like, she basically like she's like my assistant in a way. Like she'll file away, or send W-9s or like she just does all of the business aspects of my streams of income, because I'm just like, I'll like have fun and make the content and make the money if you can just help me
Yeah.
figure out where to, what to do with it. So that's been incredible, like being able to allow her to quit her job and like feel happier in that way. Like that was really rewarding to see.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's been great. I'm a big fan. I love it.
Yeah.
When it comes to collabing, one, what all does that mean with everybody? And then two is OnlyFans a space where you like are comfortable with nudity compared to like burlesque dancing?
Lots of nudity, yes. My OnlyFans is X-rated all the way.
Wow, you heard it here first, people.
Yeah,
Sign
OnlyFans
up.
is X-rated all the way.
Wow.
Compared, burlesque. This gig that I'm doing in New Orleans, I get to get full nude, and I'm like thrilled. Because New Orleans is a freaky wild place, and they'll let you do freaky things.
Oh, so you can get full nude with burlesque in New Orleans?
You can, yeah. Depending on the venue, I think. It's not like every venue is that way, but this one specifically will allow that, so I'm like very excited.
Wow.
Damn, that's so fun.
But usually burlesque, is I've done a full nude show like 2 times, and it was like a private event, like a birthday party or something. Because the ABC, like the laws and stuff here are like whack, and like a lot of places. So, but getting back to what you're saying, yes, fully X-rated on OnlyFans. And when I talk about collabing with people, we'll like shoot sexy content together.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know if you want me to go into detail. I will. I don't know, but like,
well, no, we've had a porn star on, and like her version of collabing was different than what I was like. It's like a full-on production and everything, and so we just
it can be for sure. Depending on like how serious you want to go with it. It could be like, hey, come over, I'm gonna set up my lights in here, because I do photography too, so I like have some decent lights, can set up the tripod, or like find somebody like Nick or someone to film it for us, and we'll just decide what we're gonna do. If we're gonna do like just like a standard like girl like sex tape, or if we're gonna do something like a foot fetish thing together, or if we're gonna like, you just kind of decide what you want to do, and then kind of go over what they're comfortable with, like getting consent in all the ways, and if details, and of course there's always like STI screenings and all of that taken care of and to be safe. And so I think it just depends on how, like, what your content is like, and like if it is big production, if you have the funds to make it big production. Like my ex-girlfriend is a 0.01 creator on OnlyFans, and she lives in LA, and she does like a lot of big productions. type of thing. But like I'm just sitting over here in Little Arkansas, just sitting on my tripod and like doing fine. So
Yeah.
Wow.
yeah.
What? Oh my God. What was I gonna ask? Damn it.
I have a question.
Yeah.
I've been talking about like recently, I'm 25, so in the era of figuring a lot of things out, and most of my life I felt like I was too big, and I'm really trying to like not give a fuck about that anymore, because I'm a big person, and I finally like
Emotionally.
yeah, like I just want to accept myself for that. Were you like, did you grow up like having a big personality, like, and were you just always like yourself?
I feel like I kind of I'm really like was very timid and very shy whenever I was younger growing up. Like I had like a goofy wild side to me, but I did a lot of the like caring about what other people think of me type of thing, where we're like we're done with that. I'm over it, you know, but it takes you a minute to get there for sure. But yeah, I didn't have like I'm not super wild really, like super big personality. I'm pretty like easygoing and so I didn't really struggle with that too terribly much. I don't really know what advice I could give you in that regard.
I mean, I guess I
'Cause
don't
I know it's
need
easier said than done, you know,
Yeah,
to be
it's
like,
like-
yeah, just like screw other people, like
right?
you're perfect the way you are. Like it's just, you know.
It's like something it's something we all just have to go through.
Maybe you should get on stage and like.
Listen,
Work
have
through it.
thought about it. Like I want a dark wig. Like,
We should do that. Like we should have an interview where we like the experience is us either doing burlesque for the first time or going to a burlesque show for the first time.
Are there burlesque like dance classes I can take?
Yes, online. Okay, let me tell you, my friend Ginger Valentine, she's incredible. She has online classes for burlesque. She teaches like beginners, like intermediate, like floor work. She's incredible. She lives in LA as well.
Okay.
She was on tour with Beautiful Artiste for a while. She's like one of the top, like best in the biz. She's a babe.
It's
and
online?
she does online classes.
Does she do in person
Yes.
if she's in LA?
I don't know if she does in person, but I'm sure if you reached out, you know, she might do, you know, like I'm not sure. I've just been seeing her online, so I know that she's doing them online, but I'm not sure if she's doing in person. But I highly recommend her for like anyone listening or y'all. Like she's great.
Fuck yeah.
What is one thing that you know she would tell us?
She'd be like, "Fuck what everybody thinks. Y'all do what you want." That's her.
okay.
She's just like,
Is there like a
"You do you.
specific
We're gonna
move
get sexy."
that's
Like oh, I mean, she's good with hairography. Like she can sling her hair. She'll teach you how to like sling your hair around and like play with your hair. And she is great at floor work, all these transitions. And I've taken classes from her before. I'm telling you, it's very fun. Even if you just didn't even like ever put it to use on a stage,
wow.
just doing it.
Yeah, because I mean, dancing is just so fun and like gives you a certain confidence, and it's just a flow. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I've really been wanting to take like dance classes, and I think burlesque would be kind of sick because there's like a smoothness in it. You know, like there's a
And it's not even about like. It's not for other people. Like the way that she teaches, it's very much like, oh, touch your thigh. Like, isn't that thigh just the softest thigh you've ever felt? Oh, touch your hair. Isn't your hair so incredibly voluptuous and beautiful? Like, it's all like surrounded around you and like for you and not for other people.
wow. Yeah, I mean that definitely would like help with your own relationship with your sensuality.
Wow.
Yes, for sure.
Fuck, I want to do that.
Do you ever like when it comes to being in this space and like having men look at you or like being on OnlyFans, like do you is that less appealing for you, or like do you ever collab with men for on OnlyFans?
I don't do any boy girl stuff. I'm just not comfortable with it. And if they're paying me, I'm like, I'm I'm not like disgusted by it. You know what I mean? They can be nasty. I mean, don't get me wrong. Like they're pretty gross. But I mean, if you're just going into it knowing, just being like, okay, you're pretty nasty. Like I don't get grossed out anymore. I really don't. I mean, I'm just like, okay, like I'm going along with it. Where you're paying me, I'm gonna be your fantasy right now. Like, you just have to have that the disconnection with like you and like what you feel comfortable doing. Like that's the beauty with OnlyFans is you can do however much or little as you want with it. You don't have to do anything you don't want to do.
Have you had a negative experience with anyone on that or on OnlyFans?
Not a negative experience, I wouldn't say. I mean, it is scary, putting yourself out there in that way, and it's just easy to like find people on the internet. Like I have been worried about that, but I haven't really dealt with that, thankfully. I'm hoping I'd never have to. That would scare me. That would be a situation that I would be alarmed, because people are not cool. They'll do some things, and it's scary for sure. But there really isn't any getting away from that, I guess.
People's social cues, especially in small towns, are not like up to date. I was on OnlyFans for like 3 months, and it got to the point where I would walk into a coffee shop and a guy would come up to me and he's like, hey, like I saw you're doing OnlyFans now, could you send me your link? Or like I went to a dog park and the guy came up to me and started talking to me, and then was like, reverse. He was messaging me on Instagram about my OnlyFans and asking to meet up at a dog park when I knew his wife. And I was like, does your wife know that you're speaking to me this way? And he's like, no, I just, trying to be supportive of everyone. I just wanted to pay for your OnlyFans. I'm not going to look at it. And I was like, this is too much.
Right.
So it was like getting to the point where I would go out and like people would come up to me or bring it up. And I was like, I've only been on here for like a little bit, and I have like 5 photos. That's how small it is. So I just was like, I can't do it.
I don't like that. Like there are people that are on my OnlyFans that are local, but like they don't tell me who they are, which I'm glad, because I don't want to know. Like I don't want to know when you're buying my porn if you're gonna see me at Walmart. Like I want it disconnected. Like that's fine if you want to support me and stuff, but like don't be creepy about it.
Yeah.
I
would see their full names, and I would like Facebook them, and I'm like,
yeah, no, like put like a fake username. Come on,
yeah,
fake name.
I
have a fake name.
Like who I was, like it's just too small. Like I just can't.
Yeah, it's small town. I feel you. That's definitely alarming.
But I made some good money, so that's
yeah, money's good. I mean, I'm not complaining about that ever.
What's been like? Is this something that you think that you'll do as far as like burlesque or OnlyFans, like as long as you possibly can? Like, do they have like old people doing burlesque?
Yeah, they have. So they call. I mean, a lot of the legends of burlesque, like the ladies that were doing it, in the 60s, 70s, 80s even. And there's a weekender called Burlesque Hall of Fame that happens in Vegas every year. And all the legends, there's like a legend showcase, and they all come out and they perform, and they're like old, you guys, and they're kicking ass up there, and it's incredible.
Wow.
It's so cool. But I mean, they don't perform like to make money. They're just like performing for, this one show. Like they're not actually performing anymore. They're just doing it for the showcase. But I mean, I know like burlesquers that are still kicking, and they're like in their late 40s, early 50s, you know.
Wow.
But I don't know anyone who's like older than that who's performing like on the regular. I see myself doing it. I mean, I already see myself doing it more as a hobby. I mean, it's always been a hobby. Like, I don't do it enough to say that I do it part time even these days. It's more hobby, and like I said, like the money, it's just we make that's like one of the biggest differences between like burlesque and stripping is we make no money.
Wow.
Yeah, so
I guess like
I could see myself doing it, you know, for a long time. I mean, just because it's really fun and I enjoy it, and I have all these thousands and thousands of dollars worth of costumes. Like, what am I gonna do?
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, the costumes, man, are so cool.
That's why I thought that there would be like more money in this space, because it's like but I don't know. I mean, I don't know, but
we just put all the money we make into the costumes, and then we are just driving on fumes to our next gig. And we're in the backstage, and it's like a broom closet, and there's no lighting, no mirror, and you're just throwing yourself together, and then you get on stage and you're like, glamour, and they have no idea.
Yeah.
Has there been like, as far as the mental health that comes behind this, like whenever, even just like with body image, like was it hard for you to adjust at first? Like, I mean, being fully nude on stage and then seeing pictures of yourself, like, was there ever a moment where you were just like, holy shit, in like a dark spot?
I mean, you're definitely gonna scrutinize yourself, like we all do, you know, like when you see a photo of yourself, you're like, I could, you know, like, you just have feelings. That's just natural. Like, it's so hard to just like have a like positive response to yourself in every way. Like, I feel like that's almost impossible to do. So I mean, yeah, I'm very much like, I notice it and recognize it. Like, if I've gained weight, or if I'm like not as toned as I was, or like if I, you know, we went through a whole pandemic and then got back on stage, and like everyone's bodies have changed, you know, which I mean, bodies change, and they do what they're gonna do, and you live your life with your body, and your body like gets you around, and you gotta just have love for it and accept it in the space that it's in, you know. But I mean, I wouldn't say like I've ever been like in a dark place regarding like my body image or anything like that. But I know people who have, and those spouts haven't lasted long, because I mean, we're gorgeous, you know.
Yeah.
We're gorgeous at any like weight or any size or anything, you know. So
That's what I liked, like looking through your photos. I was like, you know, these are not photoshopped, and even the photos of the friends, like this is their skin, this is their shape, this is not overdone. Like, this is a real human body, and it just seemed so much more welcoming. Like I was explaining earlier, like it just seems like more of a space where you don't have to be this like petite, like you know, like. Yeah. It's not catered for men. It's like it's catered for yourself, like you said. So
right.
I just thought,
and if men find it interesting or attractive, like, great. If they don't, like, whenever I first cut my hair off, like, it was like a year and 3 months ago or something like that, and I had long red hair, like super femme presenting my whole life. And then after the pandemic, or during the pandemic, because I realized I was just kind of holding on to that hair and that like femme presenting person because of burlesque, and I was like, we weren't performing, you know, for the foreseeable future, and I was like, why am I like holding on to this? And I just like cut all my hair off. Well, I did like the undercut, and then I did the mullet, and then I was like all the way off.
Oh my god, a mullet. Wow.
It was very cute. But my bangs, my hair likes to go back, like my hairline, you know how you have bangs and they lay, my hair was like, it wants to go back, and so I had to blow dry it down every day, and it was just horrible, and took up so much time. So I was like, just cut it all off.
Wow.
But I had people like a lot of people unfollowed me because a lot of my followers were men and they wanted that like ultra feminine like glamour, and that wasn't really. I mean, I explored a lot of my gender identity throughout the pandemic.
Wow.
And so I did. I mean, even like I'll go through and delete the comments, but like people, if they when they see my armpit hair, they're like have something to say. If they see, my pubic hair coming through, like they got something to say, and it's I'll just go through and like remove them, but I don't let it get to me at all anymore. Like it's laughable to me whenever people want to like come and troll on my thing about my appearance. I'm like, okay, like I have no room for it.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially with like the armpit and the pubic hair. I'm like, how it's crazy that we're in 2022 and people haven't figured out that this is what bodies do.
Right. They're like, you need to look like a newborn baby or I am not interested in you. And I'm like, okay, goodbye. See you later.
We had a tantric sex practitioner on, and I wanted to ask, like, since you have multiple partners, do you find yourself exploring differently, like with sex now, or like things are happening that you just were like, whoa, I didn't expect this since you have multiple partners?
I mean, not really anything too wild, no, nothing. I'm like, it's nice having other partners and having just the difference in the relationship and like how you are affectionate with each other is like really cool to be a part of, but it's not like wildly different. I mean, they're totally different people, and so the love is going to be different, and like the sex is going to be different, but there aren't a lot. It's not like a wild separation where it's like, oh, this is like a very like, I mean, people have like like dom and sub relationships, or like relationships that are very centered around like whatever you're into, like kink wise or whatnot, but for me it's not really there right now anyway. It's kind of just sapphic and beautiful lesbian love.
When you shaved your head off, like what emotions did you go through? Or I guess cut your hair off.
Shaved your head off.
You should chop your I was like, I chopped my head off. It's gone.
Oh, hair. I didn't even catch that.
Shaved your head off.
It felt really good. It was nice to be able to play around with my gender expression, and like wear whatever I wanted to, and like it was really fun. I wasn't like sad or like I miss my femininity, because like I can still be ultra feminine with the short hair, like the hair didn't really mean anything. It was just like a fun new, like a change to get to explore and dress up or style differently. And I wear my hair natural a lot in burlesque these days. I do like finger waves and wear it really tight to my head, which really, it looks nice with like my bone structure and stuff. So I'm about it. I like it.
Wow.
I don't think I'm not going to grow my hair out anytime soon.
Yeah, my boyfriend has been thinking about shaving his head off. What? God, my hair.
God. No, it's fine. I'm sure it like doesn't sound as weird as I'm.
Why can't I figure this out? Okay, my boyfriend has been thinking about shaving his hair off, and he has beautiful dark hair. It's like a mullet. Everybody loves his hair. But he has been thinking about this for like since the pandemic, and he thinks about it near every day, but he's scared because he's like,
he just needs to do it. He just needs to do it. If he's thought about it for years, he needs to do it.
Yeah, and I'm like, dude, you will look good. And he's like, I just don't know if I can be ugly right now. And he's like, I just can't afford to like look ugly. And I don't know. I think like he's also wanting to get like a lot of tattoos. And we were just talking about how he would probably start to walk a little bit differently because, it's almost like a new persona. Like if you're tatted up and like shaved hair.
Oh, 1000%.
Yeah.
Totally. That's like a badass right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I feel that. I'm like, I am hot. Like, damn, I'm into it. It definitely changes in that way. Like you feel different you're like, because you're being perceived differently,
Mhm.
you know, by different
Yeah.
people, and so it's gonna feel, and you feel it, you know.
Um,
I tell him to do it. You
Okay.
should do it.
Will
We'll
do.
go back if you don't like it.
After this interview, I'm saying, shave your head.
that look is in
Shave your head.
the
Shave your head off.
the shaved head off, the shaved hair tattoo, but like you've got your shit together is really hot right now. Like the Pete Davidson and like all of that.
Yeah.
Like that's just like in right now.
The tall lankiness.
Yeah.
Is there anything like in hindsight that you would have done differently in your career?
Not really. I feel good about where I'm at. Like, I never wanted to, like I said, be like a, you know, traveling constantly and doing full-time performance, or I feel good about just being able to do it locally and travel here and there every month or every other month, like, and go do something that feels really good and like heartwarming and just really juicy and good for me. Yeah, I don't have any regrets with the way that I lined out my little burlesque career.
Yeah. Okay.
Feel good about it.
Yeah.
What's like something that you hope for with the burlesque community?
I mean, within every community, there's going to be a lot of like hate and like call outs and judgment, and you know, anything that you're doing in the public's eye, there's always going to be that. And there's just a lot of like, it's when I say the burlesque community, like it doesn't always feel like a community, you know. A lot
Women
of
can be catty.
Mm-hmm.
do what?
I said women can probably be catty, right? Like, I mean, you're
Totally. I mean, like anyone is, you know, and it just surrounding yourself with like the right individuals is the way to go personally. Like our little troupe, I love them all and we work together really well. But I don't know. I do feel like there's a lot of like competitiveness in the burlesque world, and a lot of people trying to like jump over people to get to where they want to be, you know. So yeah, that kind of is but I mean, I feel like you probably can any like in the modeling world or in the competitive surfing world, women or competitive anything, they're gonna be I don't know, it's just how it goes. But I feel like specifically when it's like, I mean, the burlesque world, it can, you know, it can get a little spicy.
Yeah, is cancel culture like big in that community or?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Damn. I guess I mean, I guess with almost
Anything. They're
Yeah.
just, yeah.
Anything. And like you know, it's very important to be, you know, checked in on if you're doing something problematic. Like I'm about it. But you know, there's room for growth in all parts, you know.
Sure. One more, like another question. Damn it, I keep forgetting it. I keep like, well, because you'll say something and then I'll be like, oh, wait, I want to ask her about that. Oh, this is so random. What music is it that you're dancing to?
I started out performing to a lot of like old sexy jazz and like classic bump and grind music from, you know, 50s, 60s. But now I kind of do more modern songs. Like I kind of shift, depends on the act, but like if I'm going for more of like a classic vibe or like with horns and stuff, or if I'm going for like, I do a couple of acts to like 2 Feet, the band, you know, 2 Feet, or it just depends, you know. But more these days I do more modern music and just like have the old costumes and like, you know, the sneaky ways of removing them and all of that.
Wow, cool.
Just to more modern things.
Is God, I don't know if this is like not good to ask. I'm definitely not trying to be offensive in any way, but is drag a version of kind of like a own version of like burlesque for that community almost? Because it's kind of like, it's not the same, but it's like the dancing.
I wouldn't say. I mean, I feel like a lot of burlesque shows have drag in them, or like it's a part of the same performance art world, but it's not the same at all. Like, I mean, I think it depends on like what the drag performer is doing, but a lot of drag performers don't remove their costumes, and like they do, you know what I mean? And they do a lot of lip syncing, which we don't do usually. I mean, the strut is the same, you know, the like, here I am, but like, and like a lot of the elaborate costumes and stuff, but it's not, it's kind of like, I wouldn't consider it part of like the same like community or like performance art like style, if that makes sense.
I only thought of that because you mentioned the pay with burlesque, and I remember hearing a quote, or I think it was from one of our guests, you don't do drag for money. And so I was like, okay, right. Yeah, because you're like, you'll be very disappointed if you are. And like,
yeah, no, it's, I mean, you'll get a gig here and there that are like, wow, that was great. Like I got a lot of tips for that, but I mean, did it cover your Airbnb, your gas, your like tons of like rehearsing, like hours of rehearsing, and like did it? No, like it's, you know, it's pretty, like the rates are different in every city. I remember going to New York to perform for the first time, and I was like, wow, like I'm going to perform in New York, and I got paid $50, and I was like,
wow. Aw, damn. Aw.
No, but it's like you do this for I mean, it's hard to, it's just hard to make money in burlesque for sure.
Wow, okay.
And then you have a lot of people doing burlesque for more affordable rates, and then that takes, you know, like with photography, like if you have somebody who's offering basically the same thing that you're doing, and they're offering it for like $400 less than you or $200 less than you, like that's gonna mess with your money and your, you know, so even if you're asking for a decent rate for burlesque, there's always going to be people that are like newer who are doing it for more exposure, who are going to do it for a lot less. Then it's going to really just water down like the pay situation. But in general, it is not a money maker.
Damn. Okay. Good to know.
Sadly.
Well, I think I got all my burlesque questions answered.
No, I know. Now I just want to do it. Like,
yeah.
But before we
contact Ginger, I'm telling you.
What did you say?
I said contact Ginger Valentine. I'm telling you, she's amazing.
Ginger Valentine.
What a name.
Ginger Valentine.
That's what I would want mine to be. Ginger Valentine.
Yeah, think of your name. Y'all come up with, what would your name be? Do you just think on it?
I said my stripper name was Cristal Chandelier, but that was like a joke.
I don't know.
Oh my God.
I have to put some thought into this.
I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know. I have to think about it. I have to do one of those things on Instagram where it's like the alphabet, and then it's like go to your, and then like whatever that says, and the last thing you ate or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like,
exactly.
I can't even think of one. I'm like, Rosemary's always been pretty.
Well, if mine was the last thing you ate, it would be hot dogs.
Rosemary.
So.
Oats.
Okay. Before we start wrapping things up, we do have 3 questions we want to ask you that have nothing to do with the interview. So
Okay.
I'm gonna have Lacey take it. Go.
What is your favorite way to cook or eat a potato?
God, potatoes are one of my favorite foods in any form or fashion, honestly. But French fries.
Yeah.
French fries are so good.
It's a solid choice.
I mean, potato medicine. I call it potato medicine.
Oh wow, yeah.
It's like
I'm fully prescribed to that medication. Okay, so if you could be a gold medalist at any Olympic sport, summer or winter, which one would it be?
Do they do pole vaulting in the Olympics?
Yeah, I think so.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That sounds really fun. Like flying through the air.
Yeah.
Dang.
I'm into that.
Wow.
That would be fun, like dropping.
My uncle was a pole vaulter for like the main or for Fayetteville. Yeah. And it was like a whole thing. And now I'm like, how did that happen? Like no one in my family does that whatsoever. But yeah. Okay, last question.
Would you rather smoke weed on the beach or trip on psychedelics in the desert?
Beach all the way. Mushrooms on the beach. The beach is so cozy to me. Just love it.
Yeah.
Beach.
It is cozy.
I mean, I love the
That
desert.
is a good
too.
word for the beach.
Yeah, it is.
Cozy.
But the beach, I just can't. I cannot turn away the beach ever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, cute. Well, thank you so much for coming on and talking with us. I've been following you for a while. My friend Michael Harris connected me to your account, and I just was like, what? Look at this woman. So I've been following you for a while, and I had you down as like one of the guests I wanted to ask so bad. So thank you for coming on.
Yeah,
and talking
I was
with
very
us.
flattered. It's my first podcast I've ever done.
Wow,
so.
yay. Oh my gosh. Yeah, no, we're so honored. Thank you so much. And we're going to be linking all the things on how to find you on the description. But for our guests that are listening, where can they find all about you?
My Instagram, Rosalee Bloom. There's some catfishes, so just make sure it's me. My OnlyFans is under Rosa Magnolia.
Oh.
It's my separate persona. But I'll give you all the links.
Okay, cool.
But yeah, I primarily hang out on my Instagram mostly. I have TikTok too, but like not really. You know, like I just kind of scroll with it. Like I have some videos, but like you don't really want to follow me unless you do, and then you can. But it's just Rosalee Bloom on all the platforms, really, except for OnlyFans. The X-rated thing. It's Rosa Magnolia.
Okay, cool. Yeah,
I love that.
If we're allowed, we'll link it down below.
Yeah. Oh yeah, just
Yeah,
like a thing
no
that
worries
has
if
it.
you're not.
It might, but we'll definitely put the username.
Ooh, good idea. Yeah.
You can link my Twitter maybe.
Okay.
Because my OnlyFans is on my Twitter.
Okay, cool.
I love Twitter for that.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
You just go on.
Yeah, it's nice to have platforms that you just like it doesn't matter if you're like gonna just go off the wall, like do like whatever. It's just so nice to not be censored.
Yeah.
I've seen full on porn on there.
Yeah.
Unwillingly and
Oh, I mean, check out my Twitter.
There it is.
there it is, y'all. We're checking it out. Well, everyone, just check out all her stuff. She's amazing. I've only been staring. I usually stare at myself during these interviews, but I've been staring at her the whole time. And she's so beautiful. Please go check her out, support, and go see her at a show. If you've made it this far, thank you for listening, and you're welcome. And go.
If you want to keep up with us, please do. Everything will be linked down below. Our personal social medias, as well as all of our Oh Here We Go stuff. Give us a review. Yeah.
That'd be nice.
Yeah, that'd be nice. Give us a review. Let us know what you thought. If you have any like show ideas or topics that you want to learn about, we'll definitely do some digging for you and try and find a guest. Yeah, but that's all. Everything can be just found out below.
Okay. Well, thank you again for coming on. And
Yeah, thank y'all.
yeah. Okay. Well,
On that note, we'll catch you in the next episode.
yeah. Bye.